In this Take 5, I'm going to look at the economic crisis Ireland found itself baked into in the 1950s as a result of the policies that had been pursued since the foundation of the Irish Free State. This one is close to my heart as I'm also a history teacher, so we're combining my two loves of economics and history. Since the 1930s, economic policy was about protectionism. We had a policy of import substitution, trying to make as much of what we needed ourselves rather than importing goods and services. We also imposed high tariffs and other trade barriers to protect domestic industries, which limited competition, stifled innovation, and led to great inefficiency across the economy. This protectionism or isolationism led to a lack of industrial development. The economy was heavily dependent on agriculture, and that too was inefficient and lacked modern capital. Emigration was high, particularly amongst our young people, leading to a brain drain of our skilled workers due to a lack of opportunities. This limited our long-run economic potential. Economic growth was weak through the 1950s and unemployment was stubbornly high. With the lack of economic growth, real income stagnated or even fell, and Ireland was falling even further behind the rest of Europe in terms of its standard of living. What we did need to import had to be paid for by exporting, but this was a struggle as all we had to offer was agricultural output, and this was subject to low prices and market volatility. At the end of his third term in office, Eamon de Valera realised a change in economic direction was necessary, and a civil servant called T.K. Whitaker was asked to prepare a plan. Whitaker's first programme for economic expansion, published in 1958, laid out a blueprint for how economic policy should change to help modernise the Irish economy. Now we look at the reforms proposed by Whitaker and other policies that would help turn Ireland into a modern economy. Ireland joined the GATT organisation, the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, now called the WTO, or the World Trade Organisation. Tariffs and other trade barriers were reduced and Ireland became a more open economy. Tax incentives and grants were introduced to attract FDI. The IDA, although formed in the 1940s, was at the heart of this, and it was at last resourced properly, and it was successful in promoting Ireland as a destination for FDI. Another key reform was free secondary education, introduced by the then Minister for Education, Donogh O'Malley. This would create the skilled workforce FDI companies would need. The government, initially led by Sean Lemass, also invested in modernising infrastructure like transport and housing to support economic growth. The economy moved slowly away from being reliant on agriculture, with manufacturing and the service sector becoming more dominant. The final part of the puzzle to development was our membership of the European Economic Community, or the EEC, now the European Union. We first applied for membership in the late 1960s, but didn't become a member until 1973. All of these reforms helped transform Ireland into the strong modern economy we have today. Remember T.K. Whitaker's name. We have much to thank him for, and he went on to become the Governor of the Central Bank of Ireland, and only died recently, in 2017, if I remember correctly. In the next Take 5, I'm going to look at the Great Recession and how the government of the day responded. Thanks for listening, and let me know by leaving a comment if there's anything else you'd like me to cover.